afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us for this week's computer and internet tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about RBdigital. RBdigital has two services, one for magazines and one for comics. I'm going to be showing you both of those today. We'll start off in the comics, and after that we'll head over to the magazines. The interface for both of these are pretty similar, so it should be pretty easy to get through both of them today. So let's go ahead and get started. You'll want to first go here to the Balch Springs Library homepage, and that's here, balchspringslibrary.org. And on our homepage, if you scroll about halfway down, you'll see this little icon for RBdigital Comics. This is where you would click to access the Balch Springs Library and RBdigital partner page for comics and graphic novels. If you wanted to access the magazines, just a few icons down is RBdigital Magazines. Again, we're going to start off in the comics section. I will show you how to sign up for it, how to check out items, and so on. On the RBdigital homepage, you'll want to register if you do not already have an account. If you do have an account, you can just go ahead and click sign in. But today we'll assume you do not have an account, so you'll click register. And you'll go ahead and fill out the information that it's asking for. Your username, you can pick any name that is going to be easy for you to remember. Same thing with your password, you can pick anything that you'd like. For your library card, this is asking for the number, and this will be the number on the back of your library card underneath the barcode. Then you'll fill out this information here. The email that you put here, if items are due back, they'll send confirmation that those items are due to be checked back in. And then you'll also need to agree to the terms of service and privacy policy by clicking on this little box. Once you've filled out all of this information, you'll just click register and go ahead and register an account. RBdigital has changed some of its back-end stuff, so I have had a little bit of issue signing up for an account on comics and for magazines. So if you are having an issue, just give us a call here at the library and we'll help you get an account created. Again, if you're having any issues, you've filled out all of this information, you've double checked that your library card number was entered correctly, and you're getting an error, just give us a call here at the library and we'll help you get connected. I already have an account, so I'm just going to click cancel and sign into the account that I have. So once you've signed in, you're able to go ahead and check out and read comics. You can always just kind of scroll the first page here and see any new items that are stocked. You can also search for something specific by clicking on this little search icon here, and you can search for a specific title. I'm going to exit this. I'm not searching for anything in particular right now. You can also search the entire comic collection by clicking on these three little bars here in the top left-hand corner and then selecting comics. We have quite a few titles. You can always filter or sort your search with this little bar here. It gives you the option to kind of sort your search either A through Z or Z through A. And you can also sort through title versus series. And then you can also filter your search here by selecting any of these options. So I'm going to go ahead and apply a filter. I'll just select superheroes. And now the filter has been applied where I'm looking at comics that just have superheroes. So if you would like to look at more details, you can just click on the image of the comic and it will bring you to a details page where you can get a little synopsis of the comic and you can get some more details about genre, audience, and so on. If you like what you're seeing and you would like to check it out, all you have to do is click this checkout button here. For comics, the checkout period is 30 days. So after or as you're when those 30 days come up, the item will be checked back in, but you do have the option to renew it. I'm going to go ahead and check this out. On this pop-up here, after you check it out, you do have the option to continue browsing, or you can go ahead and read it now. Also, what's really nice is, especially for items that are released pretty regularly, you can check this little box and you'll get an email whenever the next issue becomes available. For now, I'm just going to keep on browsing. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to go back to look at the comics. The full comic selection. And again, once you see something that looks very interesting to you, you want to go ahead and check it out, just click on it. You can read more information about it, and you can also just check it out by clicking on that checkout button. So again, on this pop-up, now I'm going to select Read Now and just demonstrate the interface for reading the comics. A new tab will open up where you can go ahead and begin to read the comic. So by clicking on these left and right arrows, you can turn the page of the comic. Here, this little icon is going to be your navigation, so you can hop over to different pages pretty quickly. You can bookmark a page if you see something in particular that you like, and I also want to point out that you can print pages here. For our comics here in the library, our physical comics, we have noticed when going through our various collections that some pages and some of the books, physical books, have been defaced. Some pages have come up missing in some of these comics, and understandable. The artwork is really cool, really interesting, but after noticing that, we have been more vigilant about checking those books and making sure that they're coming back undamaged. If we are seeing damage, then we are charging for the damage to those books. This is a really great alternative to damaging our books. If you see something really cool that you want to print, you would just click this little icon right here, and it gives you the option to print the pages. You can print full color pages here at the library. Each color page is 50 cents. So that would be an alternative to cutting out pages in our books. Just pay 50 cents and get the page printed. So I'm going to go back over to the RBdigital website and just show you that if you want to leave a book, or pardon me, a magazine or graphic novel, and come back to it later, you can click on these three little bars here once you come back to the website and just click on this checked out, and it'll show you the comics or graphic novels that you currently have checked out. and you can click on it and read it at any time. So I'm going to go ahead and close these tabs. I'm done reading them for now. You can also, when you're looking at just the general information for the comic or the graphic novel, you can also just return that at any point. As the check-in period comes closer, you'll also have the option to renew it if you're not done reading your comic. So I'm just going to also return this book and this comic. Just click return here. And I'm just going to go back to checked out and see I've returned everything. So if you would like to ever go back and see what you've already read, or just reread something, you can always come back over to your history. You just click on the three little bars, My Account, and your history is here. So all of the comics that you've ever checked out and read, you can view them here. Maybe you remember a cool image, or there was a part of the story that you'd like to go back and look at. You can always go back to your history, and you can always recheck items out. For comics, there's no limit on the number that you can check out. As you notice, though, it is a 30-day checkout period. You do have the option to renew, but you can check out as many as you'd like at one time. Also, with RBdigital, it's really nice. They do have an app for Android and for Apple, so you can read those. You can read your comics on any tablet or on your phone. So that's pretty much it for RBdigital comics. I'll go ahead and demonstrate the magazines. Pretty similar interface. I'll go ahead and close that. So again, starting on the Balch Springs Library homepage, about halfway down is RBdigital magazines. If you do not have an account with RBdigital magazine, you will need to go ahead and register. Even if you have an account with RBdigital comics, the magazine section is a different section, and so you'll need to go ahead and create an account there. So if you want to check out magazines and you want to check out comics, you will need to create an account for each. You'll have 2 accounts. So very similar to the comics section, you'll create a username, password, and you'll enter your library card number, and you'll fill out the rest of this information. When you're choosing your library, you'll want to make sure that you select the Balch Springs Library. You'll need to accept the terms of service and privacy policy by checking on that little box, and once you've filled all of this out, you'll select register. I already have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and sign into that. So very similar to the comics, you can always scroll through and see what's new on this home page. You can also see the entire magazine collection by selecting the 3 little bars in this top left-hand corner and selecting magazines. And you can browse through the entire magazine collection. If there's something in particular you're looking for, a specific title, you can search for it by clicking on this little magnifying glass up here and typing in exactly what you're looking for. This time I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. Once you find something that you would like to go ahead and check out and read, you'll just click on it and check it out. I'm going to go ahead and keep browsing. I just want to point out that unlike the comics, which have a 30-day checkout period, for the magazines there is no time limit for how long you can check it out, and there's also no quantity limit. So you can check out as many magazines as you'd like. Basically, for the magazines, whenever you hit return, it just kind of removes it from your reading list. Let me go ahead and demonstrate that by first checking out a few more magazines, or maybe one more magazine. I'm going to go back to magazines and just kind of browse the magazine selection. Oh yeah, this looks great. Traveler. Go ahead and check that out. And I'll demonstrate reading a magazine here. I'll go ahead and select Read Now on this checkout confirmation pop-up. And a new tab will open up with the magazine. Very similar to comics, just the left and right arrows will allow you to flip the pages of the magazine. You can always zoom in with these zoom icons here. You can do the same thing with the comics. And then your navigation is going to be this little icon here, where you can just jump straight to certain pages if you'd like. This little icon is really nice. It allows you to, oh, there it is, it jumped on me. This allows you to change the size of the font of the text, so you can make it bigger or smaller. You can also change the background color, and that's really nice if you're like me and you read at night. Sometimes it's nice to have that black background so the screen is not so bright. So I am done reading this. I'm just going to close this tab, and I'm going to go and see all of the magazines that I have checked out. Again, you don't have a limit to the number you can check out, and you don't have a time limit, so you could easily have quite a few magazines checked out at any one time, and you can go back and read them. However, if you want to get them off of your reading list, if they're kind of piling up on that page there, you would just click return, and it will return the magazine. I'm going to see all the items that I have checked out. Now I just have this one. You can also just hit this little X and just confirm that you want to return it, and that'll also clear it off of your magazines that you have checked out. Again, they can kind of pile up if you're reading quite a few of them at a time. So I'll go back to the home page. So just like with comics, there is an Android and an Apple app that you can use so that you can read the magazines online. This is going to be a separate app than the one you would use for the comics. So if you're wanting to read both comics and magazines, these would be two separate apps. So just keep that in mind. There's not a whole lot else to say. These are just really great options for reading magazines, maybe while you're waiting, or I don't know, hanging out at the house. Yeah, a lot of waiting rooms right now have been removing their magazines because of the pandemic situation, so it's nice to still have some casual reading. So that's going to be it for both RBdigital magazines and RBdigital comics. Again, if you have any issue signing up for an account for either one of these services, just give us a call so that we can help you get those accounts set up. I hope that you will join us next week. We'll be talking about Mango Languages. It's a really fun website for learning a different language. They have everything from Spanish to German to French. I believe it's something around 70 something languages that you can learn. Interactive exercises, and just really fun way to learn a different language, and it's free for all Balch Springs Library patrons. So we hope that you'll join us then. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.